Joining us now to dig deeper, pun intended, into how China and Peru have been partnering in the mining sector is Gonzalo Delgado. He's the director of the Center for Mining and Sustainability at the Universidad del Pacifico in Lima. Gonzalo, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
So let's start with talking about China's role in the country as a major investor and trading partner. How has it impacted the growth of Peru's mining sector, particularly in copper production?
Well, I think it has a significant impact on the country. Over the years, China has become our main investor in the mining industry. At this moment in time, primarily driven by your demand for copper and other minerals, which are essential for China's growth. So Peru is at this point a very reliable partner for China, and this has positioned Peru as one of the world's top copper producers. The Chinese companies have invested heavily in Peru. They have brought in capital, technology, and also on long-term offtake agreements that have significantly boosted Peru copper's output. Between Las Bambas and Toromocho project, they have managed to increase copper availability for Chinese industries, but they have also stabilized our export market. And despite global price fluctuation, has maintained mining as a very steady and productive relationship and for the good of the country.
And despite that momentum forward, Peru's mining sector faces some challenges such as red tape and local opposition. How have Chinese companies helped navigate these issues in their mining operations?
Well, I think the red tape is something that probably every company, both Chinese and multinational companies, face. Chinese have probably initially had a bit of a longer learning curve in trying to deal with the red tape in the country. They've managed to do it thus far, partnering with local organizations and local governments, and also working closely with national and local governments in order to do the necessary targeted investments that allow for the mining to move forward. It's not, I would say, the same for every company. Every project is different. Every project has different things. So it's a bit hard to make a generalization that all the projects go perfect. Some do navigate much faster through the red tape. Others take a little longer. Some of it may be technical. Some of it may be Chinese operating. They're fundamentally look more forward towards adapting to bureaucratic delays and complex regulations. So it's a bit of a learn as you go and building up solid partnership with locals that Chinese companies have managed to learn to navigate those waters of red tape better. But be aware, it's not just Chinese companies that have to suffer through red tape. Regrettably, it is one of the problems we have, and we're always trying to simplify and see how we can make a more effective management of permits and regulations without minimizing or without threatening the environmental and social standards.
Yeah, sure, of course. And when you talk about these partnerships, in what ways do you think Chinese mining companies and more broadly in Peru approach corporate social responsibility, particularly in addressing local communities, their concerns about environmental impacts on land and water?
I think Chinese companies, more than anything, they try to partner with local companies and engage on dialogues, conducting environmental. Like I said, some companies are more successful, some companies face less opposition, other companies face more. A lot depends on how do they engage in their initial contacts. I would say that in general, companies will continually face these challenges, especially with the companies in a country that is relatively poor, and considering that mining companies work in remote areas where communities have had little support from existing support from the state, etc. So when the company arrives, communities do expect and do hope and do seek to maximize whatever benefit and compensation they may receive from the companies. Now, companies, especially Chinese companies, they try to adapt themselves to the current existing government frame. Maybe that's a bit of a difference with other multinational corporations where they take a bit more proactive approach in trying to move towards a faster and more visual, if you want, relationship with the communities, trying to promote projects in a faster way. I think that has to do with the way Chinese companies have a much long-term view. They want to have a steady relationship over time. Multinational companies do work more on a short-term profile, and I think that's also some of the differences in how you approach community relations. So building up the way the Chinese companies are trying to build takes longer.
All right, and only about 30 seconds left, so quickly, just want to hear from you about the tech aspect. How does Peru benefit from technology transfer and operational expertise through its cooperation with Chinese?
I think Chinese companies have come in the country and they have brought in new technologies, new ways of thinking, and they have over the years contributed towards training engineers by bringing those technologies. So there's a kind of a refreshing new technology coming in, and local engineers, local staff getting accustomed and getting used to work with it, and that makes them more employable in other companies as well. But also that technology is also eventually transferred to other industries, and I think that is an advantage that comes with mining companies coming in country with the latest technologies.